Thousands of American towns have Cape Cod-style homes, and we decided to find out why.
The concept of the Cape Cod house really was a 19th century concoction.
And we're bracing the foundation so this wall stays straight.
What happened to all this plumbing here?
I've never seen anything like this before. There's already rot going on in that trunk.
So what have you found up here?
Well, a bit of a surprise.
It's really the classic plumber's lament.
Nice.
It's 5 bathrooms, it's a kitchen, it's a full new mechanical. It's going to be a biggie.
Sounds like you guys have a plan.
I think we do.
Money's in the detail.
That is beautiful. Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to this old house here in Concord, Massachusetts, where we're working on this gem right here. Built back in the 1880s, it originally started off as a cape, which you can see right here. This is the original building. Now, over the years, it suffered, well, let's call it a couple of plain renovations. So now the homeowners have got some big plans, and Charlie and his crew have got their hooks into it, so things are going to change. The original house, main house, is going to stay a cape, but then as you come around out back, those plain renovations have come off, and we got big plans for back here. Charlie, how are you?
Good, and you?
All right, and so the plans start with a new foundation for all of the new work, and boy, this has been a challenge, huh?
Yeah, we've had a few challenges. One starting with there wasn't a footing under the original foundation, so we're dealing with that, putting a footing in, rebarring to the existing foundation. We're also limited here, even though we have a couple acres here, we really only have access from this side, starting up against the house and working our way back.
Why don't we have access to the football field of land behind us? That's all ours, right?
Well, over there on the other side there, we have an erosion sock, and that's the no disturb area.
Conservation?
Exactly. And we have no room to stockpile literally a couple thousand yards of material.
Is that what you're taking out of this hole?
Roughly, yeah.
How big is the hole?
Well, we have an average depth of probably 12 feet in some areas, and we have about 3,500 square feet that we will disturb.
Yikes.
If we could pull all this material out and stockpile it, and then have trucks come in and then load them separately, that would be fine. But we don't in this case. We just don't have the room to stockpile a couple thousand yards.
So one at a time. And so what problems are you tackling today?
Well, today we have a sloped grade that really will come into an inside corner of the new foundation and the existing, and we want to keep the water out.
I'm going to go down there and see how you guys are tackling it.
All right.
Hugo, good to see you again.
How you doing? How's
Doing
things?
all right. Things are good. So Charlie tells me this is the trouble corner, huh? This
That's
is the
right.
one that's going to get all the water?
Exactly. The hill kind of rolls right here, and this is where all the water is going to be trapped, Kevin, so it's kind of critical area.
So this is the old foundation right here.
Yes.
This was poured recently, and we saw the guys pin this with rebar, one foundation to the other.
Correct.
Your job is to waterproof. Looks like you've already gotten started. What have you done to date?
So far, right now, up to this point, we mixed some polyurethane caulking.
Yep.
So that area will be called the cold joint, and right here is where the transition from the footing to the foundation wall meet, which makes this point critical. So we've detailed all that. What you're looking at here is a primer that we use, which is a solvent-based primer that's meant to go on a cementitious substrate. And then the next step would be able to apply actually a membrane that's going to go here next.
And so are you ready to put the membrane up?
Absolutely.
Hey, Scott.
Hey.
So Hugo, this is what we're working with right here?
This is it.
What am I looking at? Looks familiar.
So that's the peel and stick membrane that goes on that primer.
Yep. All right. So the primer, it doesn't do any waterproofing. That's
Not
just
at
to help
all.
this adhere better?
That's it.
I mean, this is pretty sticky.
It is. It
Not
is.
enough, though.
Not enough.
So this looks a lot like the stuff that we put down on roof decks, right?
It does. It's very similar. The main difference is this is not meant to be exposed to heat. If you were to apply this on a roof, all the rubberized material that's in it would actually run out.
Oh.
It's meant to go below grade.
So this would melt if we put it up on the
It'd
roof.
become a disaster for sure. Now over this here, we'll apply a spray adhesive, and then the spray adhesive will bond to the cellophane, which will allow us to install what you see here, which is the drainage mat.
Okay, so you got a little cutout right here. We've seen these before, right? So we've got a little bit, was that a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch gap right
Correct.
there? All right, and then which way does this go?
So this will get applied over the membrane, as you see there, and it will go like this.
So this is going to keep any of the soil out, any of the fines right there, and the idea is that if water hits the foundation, it's got a pathway to travel down and then eventually to that drain.
Exactly. It's a great detail, great item to use because they'll keep all the particles from getting in and clogging the system. And what they have here, this is an outside edge that we cut out.
Yep.
This is an overlap, so when the sheet abuts to the underside of this and the water flows down, it keeps everything protected also.
Beautiful. Hugo, thank you for the information. Sounds like we are protected against water.
Yes, looking good.
Paint swatches are homeowners, and Mauro means it's probably time to start thinking about colors for the house. Hey guys, Megan, Lincoln, Mauro, how's
Kevin.
everybody?
Very good.
So where are we starting?
Well, we're dealing with a lot of different colors choices, and we might as well start with the roofing colors. We have this dark gray, and then some red and some rusty color on this one here.
Roof shingles, huh? How often are you on choosing the roof shingles?
Not much, but we're dealing with a lot of different colors. We might as well start right here.
Why not? Okay. So who is the real decision maker when it comes to colors in the family? Because every family's got one.
Yeah, well, we both have some good opinions, but I definitely trust Megan's opinion a lot.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. Well, all right. So what are you guys thinking about in terms of the roof shingles? We got sort of more traditional, then we got a little bit more reddish here.
Yeah. So I think something that's actually really driving our decision is that we'll have some metal roof.
Oh, that's right. There's going to be a little connecting part of the house.
Yeah, exactly. Connecting sort of the old and the new. We really love it because it will reflect the sky, sort of disappear, and I think it just goes much better with the gray shingles.
That's pretty obvious, right, Mauro? I mean, it definitely
I think
does.
so too, yeah, it's the two colors together.
So if you go with something like that, does that drive the house color, or we still have sort of a blank slate for what we can put on the house?
I mean, we have a lot of different colors to see it. I've done a lot of some samples for us, so let's get there and see which one you like better.
So this is sidewall clap color, right?
Yes, we have this one here, which is like a medium blue, a little lighter blue here, and then we have trim. So there's a few choices of colors that we're gonna look at it.
Endless Sea,
Yes,
Hamilton blue,
Hamilton blue.
and then on trim, ink blue and John blue.
John blue.
Oh, John blue. I remember John blue. Okay.
We have a color which is black for all the window sash.
So we've got no blue on this house right now.
We don't like blue.
How did you guys end up with a blue house? Like, where was the inspiration there?
Yeah, at first we were thinking about a blue house with a red door, and then as we're going through the different colors, then we've landed on these with the architect so far.
Okay, so architects sort of had, I mean, he's like, this will work, historic colors and those sorts of things?
Yeah, they looked at trying to do a more historic color on the old house
Yep.
and then more modern colors as we move through. And they actually got us to think of this more. The bottom ones are a little greener than we were envisioning, but we really like them.
So this is sort of where you're leaning,
I
not
think so.
quite as bold as the blue right
Yeah.
there. And do you like, if you go with something like this, are you comfortable with, what is it, John blue?
John
I
blue.
love it.
Yeah.
I
You
think
do?
I love that it's color, but there's just a difference between the two.
Yeah.
But it's not so stark as white.
And this is, I mean, we see more of this now, Mauro,
A
but,
lot.
but it's not traditional, right?
I mean, the old
Well,
houses,
I guess way back it
yeah,
was,
way
but-
back used to be, you'll see a lot of windows black.
Yeah.
But now, they all coming back again. So we see a lot of windows black from manufacturers. We paint them a lot.
Yeah.
So
How do you guys feel about the black?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's sharp.
Yep, seeing more and more around, it's great.
So we definitely like the black, and then we've got that sort of lighter blue, darker blue combination right there, which you guys seem to like.
Yeah, we do. We really like it. And so I think what we're hoping to do is do this darker blue on the old house with the trim, and then the addition will actually still be the trim color, but there'll be no separate trim on the addition.
So body and trim
Body and
same
trim will
John
all
blue.
be John blue.
Distinguish old from new a little bit, stay in the family.
I also have two more colors for you to look at it.
And what are these for, Mauro?
This is for the office color.
The off.
Or
Oh, you've got a
office.
little one-story bump out off the
Do,
back of the
yeah,
house,
Off the back of the garage.
and you want that to be yet a different color.
So that was what our architect suggested, and I think it's a cool idea.
Okay, so body for the one-story office.
Yes.
What do you guys think? I mean,
So I think you'll see it next to this color, because this is the color of the rest of the addition.
okay,
I mean,
that.
obviously more blue.
yeah, more blue.
I really like the top one. I think it's
These are similar.
those.
right?
These
I
two
mean,
are
they're different, but-
really similar.
Very,
I
very
mean, they
close.
both look nice. I love
Yeah.
them both, but I just think this contrast is kind of fun.
Lincoln, thoughts?
Yeah, I like the contrast between those two colors. I like that it stands out a bit more.
All right, we got Lincoln's approval. That's a good sign right there.
I put it away.
And you've got some shutters here for us, Mauro?
We do. We have two different colors for shutters.
Okay.
That one over there goes black up night.
Wow, those are so similar.
This has a lot of blue to it.
I can see the difference now a little bit when you put it
See?
up there.
I can see it a little bit. Yeah, this is definitely bluer. I mean, they both look great.
Are we going with the blue again?
I actually might like the black of night a little better.
All right. Well, we're getting, down the list of things we're deciding. And you said you wanted a red door as well. That's how the whole thing started.
That's how it started. I think we're thinking that with the sort of more green paint that we like for the house, the red door would feel a little festive. So probably some other colors would be good to see.
Okay.
So I got some more blue.
We like blue.
Let's go right there.
This would be basically front exterior door, right? This is the pop as people drive by the street.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it might be too much blue. What if we did maybe the black of night or our shutter color or some, I don't know. I think we might need some more time to think through the door.
Mauro, how do you feel about a door color being the same color as a shutter?
We do it quite a bit.
Right? I mean, you see that a bunch.
Yeah, it keeps that nice flow with the colors, in the right place. It will look nice.
So to be determined right there, but you guys made a lot of color choices, which helps you a ton.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, good choices. One more to go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Our homeowner asked me to look at the original stairway in the house and the newel post because she wanted some kind of an upgrade. Now, Megan is our designer, and I hear that she has some ideas about a new newel post.
Yeah, the homeowner and I have been talking about different ideas we have for the new stairs. Obviously, we have what we started with, which is very typical of the time period and of this house.
Right, and this is pretty standard with this style house. Very basic, very simple. It's just a square newel post with square balusters. These are 1 inch in diameter, and this is basically, here's the same thing, newel post unfinished. This is a white oak, and I suppose we could just pop this in on the other side, but the railing on this side is too low, so we have to change this anyways.
Right.
Let's see what you have.
So, we could start and take this idea and dress it up with some more details with this box post. It just felt a little neither here nor there.
Right, exactly.
She really likes millwork and terrell and wainscot, and she likes those extra design details.
Yeah, and I think that'll go good in this house too.
It should. So, we explored different options, and we found this newel post and baluster set. It's really pretty, but it might be a little beefy and ill proportioned for this house.
It's definitely beefy for the small hallway right here, and even the balusters I think are a little bit too heavy.
So if we could take that idea and just tone it down a bit and, try to get something a little bit more slender, a little more elegant overall for this particular staircase.
Right, that's a nice turn, and it has like a larger feature on the bottom and it tapers right up. I like that a lot. I mean, that might be something that we can turn on the lathe.
Yeah, I hear she's ready to go to work.
She wants to learn on the lathe?
She wants to learn on the lathe.
All right, I can do that. Hi, Megan.
Hey, Tommy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
So you're ready to do a little turning?
Yeah.
All right. So I got the picture from Meg on the design that you guys agreed on. It's kind of hard to get a idea or the feel of the size without actually having any measurements, and there's none on a photograph. So what I did is I laid out your stairway real quick, the first 3 stairs. So here's the top of the first step right here, and down here would be the floor. Drew the riser for the second riser, second tread, third riser, third tread, and 2 balusters here, and another baluster here. So I did this drawing right here on some scrap pieces of paper, and I sent the drawing to you, and you made a little bit of correction down here that you wanted to make sure that this was equal, which I did adjust that. I then took some heavier paper, and I redrew it all, making that correction. And once I cut it out, I had a positive and a negative piece, which gave me the actual newel post, but I also have the negative right here, which we can use as a template when we're cutting on the lathe to make sure all of these profiles match what we've drawn. It will also give us a piece that we can duplicate the next piece to.
Awesome.
All right? So the other day, I basically took the wood, started with a square block. This is actually 2 pieces of 8/4 glued together to make a square like this. I wrapped the bottom section with some 6/4 right here. I cut off the base for the one that I put on the lathe the other day. We used a roughing gouge, a couple of different size roughing gouges, And I also used the parting tool to get in here so I could calibrate the rough diameter that we need, which is size slightly larger than we want. Now my question to you is, how much experience do you have on a lathe?
So I did a semester at North Bennett, and I did some turning there.
Wow.
But it's been 10 years, so I could definitely use a refresher.
But I bet you'll do fine. It's like riding a bike, right?
I hope so.
Well, we're going to find out. I've mounted a piece of scrap wood in the lathe right here, and we'll spin it and see how you do. While you're practicing with this, I'm going to go work on the newel post. How's that?
Awesome.
Now, just make sure you go in as square as you can. That way. Okay?
If you look at the lines of our original house, built 140 years ago, you may see a home you recognize. That's because thousands of American towns have Cape Cod style homes, and we decided to find out why. John Clemson is a New England-based architectural historian.
What is now called the Cape Cod cottage originated probably in the beginning of settlement of Europeans in North America. It's just a quintessential house form. It's basically a wooden one-story box with a steeply pitched gable roof that's steep enough to enclose living space on the second level usually. If you go to the countryside in Europe, you'll see these small gabled cottages everywhere. When they got to North America, they started using wood instead of masonry because they had abundant wood. The concept of the Cape Cod house really was a 19th century concoction by romantic travel writers such as Timothy Dwight and Henry David Thoreau, who traveled to the Cape, where there are abundant examples of this house type, often small scale, and they ended up naming the style after the region.
The defining features of a cape are a central chimney, steep roofs with gable ends, symmetrical gable dormers, and simple ornamentation. Some original capes can still be found in older towns in New England, but these early capes are not the end of the story.
With the colonial revival movement that emerged in the late 19th century and rising expectations in the 1920s and an emerging middle class, there was a need for modestly sized houses. And the Cape Cod cottage and colonial revival was sort of an economical and affordable way to build for many people who wanted a simpler, traditional, less elaborate house.
Perhaps the biggest devotee of the Cape was Winchester, Massachusetts architect Royal Barry Wills. He designed 2,500 homes, wrote 8 books, even had a radio show.
The exteriors of many of his houses are very careful reproductions of early buildings. However, the interiors are almost always much more expansive, larger rooms, front to back living rooms, and like other revivalists, he added wings and attached garages to expand the core box building and provide more living space.
The final shot in the arm for capes came after World War II GIs came home. They needed houses, and developers were ready with the Cape.
The houses were inexpensive, comfortable, and could be built very economically and quickly. It was a very efficient way to create a lot of housing right away that people desired.
So when it comes to our project, this idea that we are going to take an 1880s Cape and preserve the front, but then add a fairly modern addition to the back with lots of glass, different roof lines and such, do we have a chance of pulling it off, and is that the right thing to do?
My feeling about buildings and historic preservation is that buildings have to change. They have to adapt to new needs, And I think the concept of retaining the front of the building where everybody can enjoy it and share it and look at it, and altering the back of the building to meet the needs of the owners is a very good solution.
Thank you, John. We appreciate it.
All right.
All right, it's been about 3 weeks since we've been here last to see the foundation being waterproofed on the other side. The foundation's in, we still have some forms to remove, but we've had some issues and problems here, along with weather. There's been some other things. So what's going on, Charlie?
Well, the first thing we had to deal with is when we excavated, there wasn't any footings under the existing house. So
Right.
we had to deal with that to stabilize the existing foundation.
Exactly. Well, they didn't put footings in the houses at that period of time when they were pouring that footing. So it's not an uncommon issue that we had to deal with.
That's right. It was just like this condition we have right here that we'll have to deal with. And our new basement floor is actually going to be 14 inches lower than the existing
It's
one.
going to be right up about
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
So now that we have this footing in and our foundation wall, we're able to drill and pin this, and we'll pour one last pour for this footing. And this wall here is the one we waterproofed last time, so we're on the other side of it.
Right.
We're actually going to brace it down to this footing here when we start compacting and backfilling.
Right, because you're going to put a lot of weight on it. But over here, we've got a wall that's just below frost grade, but this is going to be a framed wall with a lot of windows in it.
There's even going to have a door for a walkout basement.
Right. These piers right here are for point loads where there'll be some beams and stuff like that to support. But we found a lot of space back here that wasn't on the plans. Back here in the corner, that's now going to be a utility room, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so that's going to be added space. It's always needed.
And this is the back wall of actually the garage that we have to support from all the backfilling we have to
Well,
do.
we have to support this wall and that wall because all the soil is going to be pushing against it. Now, normally we would support this wall once the building is framed. But because it's such a tight site, we want to brace it now to make it strong so we don't get any hairline cracks in it.
That's right.
That's good. When you make up a board like this, a T-shape, this is actually called a strong back. And the strong back, because of the force of the wall and the pressure on the 2x, the 2x without a strong back can bow or buckle. This keeps it strong this way and this way. All right, that's good. What do we got going for us next time?
Believe it or not, we're going to start framing.
I can hardly wait. It's been a while.
It has.
All right, so until then, I'm Tom Silva
And I'm Charlie Silva.
for This Old House. Finally making progress.
Finally.
Next time on This Old House.
You love our wallpaper.
Listen, it's not my house. You have to love your wallpaper.
I do.
How are we gonna go from this rock to this rock? Today I'll show you how.
The 20-inch diamond tipped blade that we use water to keep it cool.
I was not expecting that saw to cut through stone as quick as it did.
And what do we do if our old house is out of level? Well, I'll show you the solution.